Have you ever found yourself scrolling through the news and suddenly, bam, there's another headline, some big company or, a public figure caught up in an ethical mess?
Oh, absolutely. All the time.
Yeah.
Product safety shortcuts, data breaches.
Exactly. Or maybe a huge corporate cover-up. It just makes you stop and think, doesn't it? Like, how do these things even start?
hmm And why are they always so complex, so hard to untangle? The fallout can be massive.
Well, you are definitely in the right place today because this deep dive, it's all about managing ethical challenges in technical workplaces.
Sound good?
We've been digging into some really insightful source material, excerpts from a chapter on ethics and technical communication,
Oh,
actually.
okay. So foundational stuff.
Yeah, it gives a pretty comprehensive look. Defining ethics, understanding the different systems, and crucially, how to handle those tricky conflicts when they pop up.
Which they inevitably do.
Right. So our mission today is to get past the headlines. We really want to unpack what ethics actually means in today's tech world.
Explore the frameworks, maybe, for thinking through the tough choices.
Exactly. And hopefully equip you with some tools to navigate these situations, whether it's a personal decision or something with like global implications. Okay, let's dive in.
Let's do it.
So when we talk ethics, it's easy to think it's just, abstract philosophy stuff for academics.
Right. Ivory tower discussions.
But in the real world, especially in these fast-paced, super innovative technical fields, it's actually a very practical, everyday thing.
It really is. Pushing boundaries is the name of the game, isn't it?
Yeah.
But that drive, it can easily push you into these unforeseen ethical sort of gray areas.
Mm-hmm.
And ignoring those gray areas is not just about, oh, I did something wrong. It leads to really severe, tangible consequences. We see it so many times.
Like what? Give us some examples.
Well, think about Theranos.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Holmes, right? Revolutionary blood tests, tiny samples. Sounded amazing.
Yeah, I remember that.
But it all unraveled. Multi-billion-dollar fraud. And the impact wasn't just financial. It damaged trust in medical tech, hurt actual patients.
Wow.
Or take the Boeing 737 MX. That software glitch, a critical factor in those crashes. 346 people died.
It's awful.
And the investigations, chillingly. They found the company reportedly tried to disable recovery procedures. That points to a huge ethical failure, putting profit way ahead of safety.
Yes, yeah.
And Volkswagen. Remember the emissions scandal? Engineers installing software specifically to cheat tests.
Oh, right. Dieselgate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Billions in payouts, their reputation completely trashed globally.
It's incredible how these things snowball.
And it's not just isolated incidents. Even the biggest names, Amazon, Apple, Facebook, Google, they're constantly under the microscope. Anti-competitive stuff, data breaches, privacy invasions.
It feels like a constant battle for them.
It is. They're walking this ethical tightrope every single day. Innovation versus user trust, profit versus public good. And that's not even touching on the internal issues like harassment, sexual, racial, which are still persistent problems in these sectors.
So it touches every part of the organization, really.
Absolutely. Products, culture, everything.
That's a powerful list. And kind of sobering, honestly. It really hammers home this idea being ethical. It's not just about doing the right thing because it feels right.
I know it's also just good business strategy.
Right. Unethical behavior tanks reputations, costs billions, erodes trust, and as we saw with Boeing, can literally cost lives. That link between ethics and the bottom line, that's really interesting.
Definitely. So, okay, let's get grounded. Define our terms a bit. Ethics, at its core,
Right.
it's basically systems of values, moral, social, cultural, that guide how we act.
So like a framework for doing the right thing.
Pretty much. Now, an ethical dilemma, that's where it gets tricky. It's a choice, right?
Mm-hmm.
But between two or more options, when none of them feel quite right, they're all unsatisfactory in some way.
You're forced to weigh competing values.
Exactly. No easy answers.
That idea of an unsatisfactory choice makes me think of a historical example. A huge one, actually, with a strong tech connection.
Ooh.
Albert Einstein, famous pacifist.
Right.
But in 1939, he was so deeply troubled, he wrote this letter to President Roosevelt.
Famous letter, yeah.
Yeah.
About atomic energy.
Exactly. He was warning FDR about the potential for nuclear chain reactions, the possibility of creating extremely powerful bombs, and his big fear that Nazi Germany might be racing ahead with it.
A terrifying prospect.
Totally. So in the letter, Einstein the pacifist suggests the U.S. needs to speed up its own experiments, secure uranium from places like the Congo, Czechoslovakia.
Yeah, talk about a dilemma.
Right. What's fascinating here is how this shows the immense ethical choices people face when they're right at the cutting edge of technology.
Absolutely. He wasn't just doing physics. He was making this agonizing choice, weighing the horror of this new weapon against the maybe even greater horror of it being in the wrong hands first.
It's a perfect example of a dilemma where every path is just heavy. You're choosing the lesser of evils, really.
A profound responsibility.
So, okay, these examples show the consequences, the complexity. But how do we even start thinking through these dilemmas systematically?
Well, our source material gives us a useful lens. It highlights 3 ethical systems that often guide us: personal, social, and conservation ethics.
And they're intertwined, you said, not separate boxes.
Exactly. They overlap constantly, which adds layers. Understanding how they interact is really key.
Okay, break them down for us. Let's start with personal.
Sure. Personal ethics. This is kind of the foundation, right? It comes from your upbringing, your culture, your family.
Yeah.
It shapes your core values.
Like honesty, integrity?
Yeah, honesty, integrity, respect, being straightforward. It's about what you, deep down, believe is right or wrong. Your internal compass.
Got it. Okay, what about social ethics?
So social ethics shifts the focus. It's not just about you. It's about how groups, companies, organizations interact with society as a whole. And within that, the source points to 4 main categories that often come into play. First, rights. Think inalienable human rights. Life, liberty, free speech. Fundamental stuff.
Right.
Second, justice. This is about fairness among equals. Like, do company policies treat everyone fairly? Equity.
Makes sense.
Third, utility. This one's about the outcome. Actions that achieve the greatest good for the most people.
Ah, the utilitarian approach.
Exactly. And fourth, care. This focuses on decisions based on compassion, tolerance, prioritizing people's well-being and relationships.
Okay, rights, justice, utility, care. How do these clash? Can you give an example?
Sure, think about a toy company. They're developing a new toy, but it has small parts. Potential choking hazard for very young kids.
Okay, I see the problem.
Immediately you've got conflicts.
Yeah.
Rights, the child's right to safety. Justice, is it fair to sell this knowing some kids might be at risk? Care, the company's basic responsibility for a child's welfare.
But then there's utility.
Right. The utility argument is, well, most kids will be fine. It'll be a popular toy. It'll make money, create jobs. You're weighing that potential harm against the overall benefit for the majority. That's the dilemma.
That's tricky.
Or another common one, a city banning smoking in public parks.
Yeah.
You've got justice, is it fair to restrict smokers' freedom? Versus utility, the public health benefit of reducing secondhand smoke for everyone else.
And often the rights argument feels stronger.
Generally, yeah. There's often seen as a hierarchy. Rights tend to carry more weight than laws. Laws more than utility. Utility maybe more than care.
Yeah.
But it forces these really difficult trade-offs in policy.
Okay. And the third system, conservation ethics.
Right. Conservation ethics. This zooms in on dilemmas about the environment, climate change, waste, resources, population.
Big picture stuff.
Huge picture. It stresses how human health is totally interconnected with the ecosystem. So practical issues like resource management, nuclear power ethics, the environmental footprint of new tech. There was Aldo Leopold, an early environmental thinker. He talked about a land ethic, extending our ethical concern beyond humans to soils, water, plants, animals, the whole community.
That feels incredibly relevant now.
Totally. Especially with global warming, resource demands from places like China, India. It's critical. So you connect this back, these 3 systems, personal, social, conservation, they give us different, sometimes competing ways to look at ethical choices.
It's clear there's no single magic formula then. It sounds like it's often about picking between options you don't really love.
That's often exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Choosing the least bad alternative sometimes.
So if the systems clash and there's no easy answer, is there a framework, a process for actually navigating this?
Yes. Our source suggests a 2-step approach. Step 1, analyze the dilemma thoroughly.
How?
By consciously looking at it through all 3 lenses we just talked about, personal, social, and conservation.
Okay.
Like personally, how do my own values clash with what my job asks me to do?
Right. Yeah.
Imagine a doctor who personally opposes guns, but has a duty to treat a gunshot victim. Personal ethics versus professional legal duty.
Right.
Socially, maybe a company believes in free assembly, in theory, but actively opposes its workers trying to unionize. Rights versus corporate strategy. And for conservation, a company might be polluting, maybe it's technically legal because of a loophole, but it's clearly harming the local environment and people's health. Legality versus responsibility. You have to weigh those angles.
Okay, so analyze from all sides. Then what? Step 2.
Step 2, make a decision. And Professor Sam Draga suggests 5 really good questions to help guide you here.
What are they?
1, are there any actual laws or rules that govern this? Start with the baseline. What must you do or not do?
Okay, makes sense.
2, do company policies or professional codes of ethics offer any guidance? Think like the IE Code of Ethics for engineers.
Ah, the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers.
Right. One of the biggest professional bodies. Their code talks about integrity, privacy, avoiding harm, fairness, respecting copyright. Lots of engineers use that as a guidepost.
Useful. Okay, 3.
3, are there historical records? Precedents? What happened last time this kind of thing came up?
Yeah.
Can we learn from the past?
Good point. Don't reinvent the wheel if you don't have to.
Exactly. 4, what do your trusted colleagues think? Getting different perspectives can really highlight things you missed, your blind spots.
Talk it out.
Yeah. And 5, this one could be tough. What would moral leaders do? People you genuinely respect for their integrity. How would they handle this?
That forces you to think beyond just the rules.
It does. It pushes towards a more principled decision.
Those are really helpful questions. They seem like they could cut through a lot of the fog. And you mentioned resources, too.
Yeah, things like the Online Ethics Center at the National Academy of Engineering. They have case studies, frameworks.
Yeah.
Really valuable tools if you're facing something complex.
Great. So let's get even more practical. What about situations where, you personally are finding yourself really at odds with what your company or boss is doing?
Yeah. That's one of the toughest spots to be in. When your personal ethics clash directly with your employer.
What can you even do?
Well, the source lays out a few strategies. You could start with persuasion.
Mm-hmm.
Try to talk to them, lay out the costs, the benefits, the long-term risks of the unethical path. Appeal to reason, maybe?
Maybe. What if that doesn't work?
Then you might need to consider seeking legal advice, understand your rights and protections. Or maybe mediation, bringing in HR or a neutral third party to help resolve it.
Okay.
It's also really smart to keep a record. Write a memo to file. Document everything your concerns, who you talk to, when, just for your own protection down the line.
CYA, basically. Cover your...
Essentially, yes, it's prudent. Then, further down the line, there's whistleblowing.
The nuclear option.
Pretty much. Going public.
Yeah.
But that comes with huge personal and professional risks. It's usually a last resort.
Yeah, you hear horror stories.
And finally, if nothing works, if the conflict is just too fundamental, resignation might be the only ethical path left for you. Walking away.
Wow. That takes real courage. It really shows the personal stakes involved sometimes.
Absolutely.
Okay, shifting gears a bit. What about startups? Entrepreneurial places, they're all about new stuff, right? Does that create unique ethical issues?
It definitely does. New products, new services, they often push boundaries by their very nature. They involve risk, and they can bump right up against existing ethical or legal lines.
Mm-hmm.
Especially around who owns ideas.
Intellectual property, IP.
Exactly. IP is a huge ethical battleground in innovation. It's not just legal paperwork. It's about balancing innovation, sharing, and protecting creators.
So like patents.
Right. Patents protect inventions, processes, products. Think like a new drone design. The ethical tension can arise when someone tries to patent something really fundamental, potentially blocking others, or patenting tweaks to existing open source stuff.
Okay, what else falls under IP?
Copyright law. This protects original creative works, writing, music, art. In the U.S., that's Title 17. It has the Fair Use Clause, allowing limited use for criticism, teaching, news.
But that gets blurry online, right?
Totally blurry. Sharing music, using images on blogs, social media, webcasting, the ease of copying makes it tough. But ethically and legally, just downloading copyrighted songs or movies without permission, still illegal. Still wrong.
Got it. Trademarks.
Trademarks protect brand identifiers, logos, symbols, names, like the Google G or IBM's Blue. Ethical issues there are more around, like brand spoofing or misleading people.
Okay. And plagiarism, is that IP?
It's related.
Yeah.
Plagiarism is copying someone's work without credit. It's distinct from copyright infringement legally, but it's a massive breach of academic and professional ethics. It undermines trust.
Yeah, fundamentally dishonest.
Right.
And speaking of online, we can't avoid talking about online behavior. It feels like a whole new ethical minefield.
Oh, it absolutely is. The internet has connected us, but wow, it's also amplified some really negative behaviors. Cyberbullying, harassment.
What forms does that take?
Well, there's trolling, just posting inflammatory stuff to upset people. There's doxing, which is terrifying, digging up and blasting someone's private info online, like their address.
That's so dangerous.
Extremely. Then impersonation fake profiles to trick or harm people. Flaming, which is just hostile online arguments. Cyberstalking, outing someone's secrets. Exclusion, deliberately freezing someone out of an online group. Phishing scams, masquerading as someone else. Hacking. The list goes on.
Why is it so bad online?
A lot of it is the structure, isn't it? Perceived anonymity makes some people bolder, crueler. And information spreads so fast one nasty post can go global in minutes, it's hard to contain the harm. And that puts a huge ethical burden on the platforms themselves, too.
So what can we do? How do you prevent it or stop it?
Okay, prevention first. Basic stuff. Don't give out super personal info online that could be used against you. Think twice about posting content that could be embarrassing or exploitable later. And crucially, don't pass along harassing messages yourself. Don't amplify it.
Break the chain.
Exactly. Now, if you're the target, first, tell the person clearly. Stop. Then block them. Very important. Save everything. Screenshot messages, save emails. Evidence is key.
Okay, then what?
File a complaint. With the social media site, maybe your university or HR if it's related to school or work,
Yeah.
or even law enforcement if it crosses the line into threats or illegal harassment.
Right.
And maybe the most important ethical point, don't do it yourself. Resist the urge to flame back. Don't engage in piling on. We all have a role in making the online space less toxic.
It really raises a big question, doesn't it? Our digital lives are so pervasive now. Does this demand like a whole new level of ethical awareness from everyone?
I think it has to. Not just from the tech companies, but from every single one of us clicking and typing. Our digital footprint is real, and it has real consequences.
Wow. Okay, that was a really thorough deep dive. And so important. We've covered a lot of ground.
We have defining ethics, the three systems, personal, social, conservation.
Right, how they guide us and how they clash. Then the framework for actually working through dilemmas, those 5 questions.
And the practical stuff dealing with employers, IP issues.
And the huge challenge of cyber ethics. Yeah. The goal here really was to give you a shortcut, a way to get informed on these complex topics that are just constantly evolving. Understand the terms, but also the real world impact.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And maybe, as a final thought to chew on, consider this. Technology changes so fast, often way faster than our ethical guidelines or laws can keep up.
That's true. There's always a lag.
Right. So in that gap, in that evolving landscape, what fills it has to be personal responsibility, doesn't it? Critical thinking. The willingness to actually grapple with these messy choices, even when there's no clear rule book yet.
So the onus falls back on the individual?
To a large extent, yes. So maybe ask yourself, what ethical framework do you tend to lean on in your own daily decisions, especially the ones involving tech? Is it more about rights, utility, care, personal conviction? And how might those unconscious priorities be shaping the world around you one choice at a time?